Okay, great. So welcome everyone. Welcome to the Teaching Kitchen. My name is Emily, and today I'm going to be teaching a little bit about hydration as well as tips to stay hydrated. It is no more of a perfect time to do this because it is a heat wave, and we certainly need to stay hydrated. And in terms of bariatric surgery, it's even more, hydration is even more important. And so we have a guest today, Ashley Fleischhauer, who's going to be talking a little bit more about that. Ashley, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys. So it says that I can't start my video. I don't know why on my work phone it's saying the host won't let me share videos, but this is what I look like. You guys can see me in the picture here. As soon as I can get into my computer, you guys will see me. A lot of you know me already. I am the bariatric manager at the hospital. I've been doing this for the past 6 years and 10 years at the hospital working with the patients. And this is the number one thing I say to everybody. Hydration is the most important thing. Don't worry about anything else when you start off. Make sure you stay hydrated. So I'm really glad we're doing this class because it will give, a little bit more, a different variety for patients because they're just so used to the unlimited beverage section, which is like vitamin zero water. So not a lot of stuff. So this is going to give them an option just, to stay hydrated in a unique, area. So, and then any questions you guys have, please feel free to ask me in the chat box if you're thinking of anything. At the end of this class, if we have a little time, usually we have about 5 minutes. If you guys are wondering about anything, we can always chat at the end of this as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Ashley. So our menu today, we're going to be making a lot of blended things, mostly just using the blender today, which is nice, especially, in this heat. You don't want to be cooking stuff, turning the oven, the stove, all of that. We're not going to be doing any of that. We're going to be blending things up. So I have some tips and tricks in here in this little packet in relationship to hydration generally. There's some water tips. Some folks just don't like water and don't like the taste of water. And it's one of the most basic things that we need for hydration. So I included in this packet some tips for water, just getting in the habit of hydration. If you're one of those people that just forgets to drink, set an alarm, make something, tell you that you need to stop and drink, a timer or whatever you want to do using your phone or just some kind of reminder to make sure that you're drinking. Carrying around a water bottle, I can't stress this enough, having some kind of water bottle with you so that when you're on the go, you can drink from it whenever you need to, so that if you are thirsty, you have that there. And then choosing hydrating snacks, so things like watermelon and cucumbers, fresh citrus, and of course, fruits that contain a lot of moisture. So your smoothies, your soups, your stews, right? All of those contain moisture and liquids. So of course, why is water important? Well, I don't think I need to go through this list, but it helps us to survive. And another thing I wanted to discuss today is the caffeine and hydration connection. So caffeine is an alkaloid. It's in about 60 plant species. And this is in your packet as well. And caffeine affects the central nervous system. It helps us to feel bright and awake sometimes. But it can cause dehydration. So you just have to be thoughtful about how much caffeine you're getting and is it impacting your hydration in any way. Different people will respond to caffeine differently. So it's, just important to keep that in mind and make that connection in your mind that if you're drinking a cup of coffee, you need to be drinking 2 to 3 glasses of water to kind of balance out the dehydration that might occur. Okay. I listed here caffeine content in drinks and foods if you want to look through that list on your own. And then you've got your recipes in here. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our cooking. Do we have any questions, Ashley, before we jump in?
We do. So one person asked if they could get the packet that was sent to them in the email, correct?
Yeah, so if you registered for this class today within the past few hours, I already sent the packet out, but don't worry, I'm going to send it again with a feedback survey after class. So you will definitely get everything that we're making today. Anything else?
I do have a couple questions. Sorry, I just am trying to
Okay.
do it at the same time. It's hard on my phone.
That's okay.
So someone asked, can they make protein shakes with almond milk on 1 week post-op? So not every protein shake should be made with almond milk, especially if you're only 1 week post-op. But you know, if once you get to regular solid food, you can add almond milk a little bit more to your protein shakes. And then someone else asked, can we get recipes sent for hydration, which we already explained, but she also asked, why is it easier for warm beverages versus cool? And I guess I could take that on, especially because it's different for everybody after bariatric surgery. There is no real answer to why warm beverages are easier versus cool. Some people just find it a little bit more soothing with warm beverages. So that's really my answer for that. It just depends on every patient. And that's all the questions.
And when I think of hydration and you know, warm versus cold, I kind of like things to be ambient temperature. I find that that's what my body responds best to. And when you think about it, it's sort of like we have this like digestive fire. And I think of cold things as kind of putting like, pouring water on the flames. And if it's cold, then it's like going to extinguish your digestive fire. You want to keep things warm in there. So that you can digest things well and enjoy them. So there's some more tips and tricks in here. I won't go too much into it. A trick that I learned from one of our nutritionists here is one of the ways to tell if you're dehydrated. This is maybe not true for everyone, but she said you can pull your skin, and if it snaps back, you're well hydrated. If it kind of stays pinched together, that's one way to see that you are dehydrated physically. And another thing about, sometimes we confuse hunger with thirst. Our bodies are incredibly intelligent and they're doing so many amazing things all the time, but we sometimes get that one wrong. So often if you're feeling hungry, check in with your thirst first and see, unintentional rhyme there, check in with the thirst first and see if that is really where the hunger is coming from. Okay, so with that, we're going to jump in. As I mentioned, our blender is going to be our best friend today. And we're going to start with the soup. So this is in your packets. It's a summer cucumber and yogurt soup. It's simple because everything gets blended together. It does include fennel. So this is our fennel bulb, raw fennel bulb, right? And fennel is a wonderful, very soothing for digestion, very calming, soothing food. It does have that anise flavor. I split this one in half. That wasn't just magic. It does have that sort of licorice and anise flavor. Some people have a little bit of an aversion to that and don't love that, that taste. So if you are that person, it's okay. We're only using half, but it's also okay. You can leave it out. It's going to change the taste of your soup, but it'll change it for the better for you. You may just have to add, more or less. You may have to add less liquid if you are, if you're working without the fennel, because that's what helps to give this bulk. So if you are omitting the fennel, I would decrease the water and just maybe start with a 1/4 cup and blend it and increase it slowly until you have the consistency that you want. Questions?
Only questions for me. Can we drink these
Okay.
during puree stage? So you can, depending on each recipe. So after each recipe, I'll tell you if you can have them on puree stage or when you get to regular solid food. Some veggies can be harder to digest the first month after surgery. So we'll talk about that. I'll just tell you guys after each recipe. And then these can be meals. Someone asked, how do these recipes fit into our diets? Are these meal supplements? And yes, they are meal supplements for you guys because you can't get a lot in the beginning and especially after. So that this can hydrate you, but also keep you full. And then someone else just asked if they didn't receive the packet. So we'll email everybody who's joined this class. We're going to email the packet to you guys after.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks, Ashley. So we're going to start by taking off the green part here on the top. just get rid of that. If sometimes you buy Fennel and it has some, like brown dried streaks, this one's beautiful. You don't have to, but if you need to do so, you can just use a vegetable peeler to peel, the outer layer and peel that off if you have any kind of like browning happening. This one, it didn't really need it, but I just wanted to demonstrate anyway. So we're going to cut this up into smaller pieces so our blender will know what to do with it. This is the core, this part in here at the bottom. Not sure if you can see that right there, right? That's a little bit tougher, so you can take that out if you want. I'm gonna leave it in because I think the blender can handle it. So I'm gonna leave that in, and we're just gonna put that on a flat surface and cut it into smallish pieces. Again, everything's gonna get blended, so you don't really have to mind your, piece size for this one. You can just put it into the blender and it's gonna take care of it. All right, we've got some cucumber going in here. It is called the summer cucumber and yogurt soup. So 1 large cucumber. I happen to have 2 small cucumbers, so I'm just gonna use those instead. I'm gonna take off the ends and we'll compost that. And then again, cutting it into smaller pieces just to let the blender, work its way down. So cucumbers are one of these wonderfully hydrating foods, kind of like watermelon. They're full of water. They're also full of fibers, so they can, give you some fullness. We're going to be adding some avocado as well. So 1 ripe avocado, and this serves 2 to 4 people, depending on how many people you're making this for. I left the sticker on. So you want to, how do you know an avocado is ripe? First of all, it's sort of like a peach. You should feel it, and it should just gently kind of yield to your touch. You can check this spot here where the stem was. Make sure it's a nice green color. This one has a little bit of almost looks like a little coral reef in there. Could get lost in there. So put the knife through the top, twist the avocado, and then you can open it up, and we're in good shape. We have a good avocado. I see a lot of people taking the knife, whacking the pit and twisting it to get it out. If your avocado is right, you shouldn't have to do that. You can just gently squeeze with the holding hand, and then with your other hand, just fish that out. No reason to get violent with our avocados. All right, we're gonna scoop the flesh in here. Avocados are a great source of monounsaturated fat. We're using them in 2 recipes today. They also just make, they make soups and smoothies really, really creamy. So it's a nice way to kind of add fiber, add some healthy fats, and add some nutrition to your blended drink, but also keep in mind that it's a healthier version of fat. You're not adding heavy cream to make things creamy. So that's a nice advantage here. All right, we have some jalapeno going in here for a little bit of a kick. So I'm gonna glove up. For those of you who have not worked with jalapeno before, it's in the pepper world, it's not the spiciest, but it's not the least spicy either. So you do want to protect your hands because they can get irritated by the jalapeno juices. You also want to be careful because you may touch the jalapeno and then accidentally touch your eyes, your nose, or whatever, and then it's you're in trouble. So you want to make sure that you keep your hands clean if you don't have gloves, and then if you do have gloves, you want to wear them. So I'm going to just pull the seeds out. They are the spiciest part, and we're using half. But if you don't like spicy, if you don't like a kick, you could start with less. Start with a quarter. See how it goes. You can always add more. Questions or comments?
Yep. Will avocados ripen in the fridge if it's bought too unripe?
Oh, great question. Okay.
And I have one more question for you.
Yeah. So avocados, okay. So often you may buy, 3 or 4 avocados. They come in a bag and they all ripen at the same time. So you can actually stagger the ripening of an avocado depending on how you treat it. So let's say you bring an avocado home from the store and it is green and hard and not ripe yet. The fastest way to ripen it is to put it in a brown paper bag, preferably if you have a banana hanging out, you put it in there with the avocado, the gases that the banana emits as it ripens, trapped in that paper bag, will actually help the avocado to ripen. So it's exposed to that, it'll ripen faster. So that's number one, to make it ripen fast, within like two to 3 days if it's green and hard. Number two is you could do the same thing without the banana, that would still help. Number three would be to leave it out on the counter. If you don't have a brown paper bag, it will ripen. It'll take 4 or 5 days. And then if you find that you ripened your avocados, but then you have 3 of them and they're all ripe at once, and maybe you don't want all of them at once, put 1 or 2 of them in the refrigerator to slow the ripening process. So putting it in the refrigerator will slow it down. Leaving it out at room temperature in a brown paper bag, and even with a banana, will speed things up. If you find that you have ripened an avocado and you're not ready to eat it, you can freeze it. So the way you would do that is you would scoop out the flesh, just like I did, and put it in the blender. You would scoop it up, you would put it in a Ziploc bag, and you would smush it. You would completely smush it, press out any air to seal it, sort of like a vacuum seal that you're doing yourself, and then freeze it, flatten your freezer. And then, if you want to make this soup or smoothie or anything like that, you can grab your frozen avocado from the fridge. Okay, that was a very long-winded answer,
but no,
it's a very important question.
It is, and I think it kind of answered Denise as she said, I have never gotten such a gorgeous green avocado, regardless of following your advice, Emily. And I think if you don't see that like brown on the outside, to make sure that you ripen it, and just how she said. So I have a couple more questions. Is there any other item you can use in place of fennel? And then do you have to use the jalapeno and never care for spicy foods?
You don't have to use the jalapeno. You can leave it out completely. It's just going to kind of give this a little bit more of a dynamic flavor profile. And as for the fennel, same thing. You can leave it out. You just might have to adjust the amount of liquid that you use. So this recipe calls for 1/2 cup of water. If you're not putting fennel and you're not putting the jalapeno, you're going to need less water, because you're not going to need to, blend it as much. So speaking of which, let me get some water in there. So I'm going to start with about 1/2 cup.
Okay. And then I have one other question. Are these recipes too large to be made in a smaller Ninja? And then what does fennel taste like?
Okay, so fennel tastes a lot like licorice, but it's not overly licorice-y flavored. It's like milder, gentle licorice. And then you can definitely make these in a Ninja or a NutriBullet. I have done that myself. You may have to, I think all of them would work. This soup one, you may have to do 1/2 a recipe at a time. That's the only thing. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Great questions. So let's add our yogurt. I'm using a non-fat Greek yogurt. If you're dairy-free, you can use, whatever kind of tangy, delicious yogurt you love. We're going to add some fresh basil leaves, some fresh lemon juice. So I have a little sieve here to catch my seeds, about 1/4 cup of lemon juice. I popped some ice cubes in there to get this kind of blended up and give it a nice kind of more of like a fluffy texture. I find that the ice cubes, I even put ice cubes when I'm blending hummus. I don't know, I find that it changes the texture, makes it like a little bit fluffier. So I like that. All right, we've got the cucumber in there, the avocado that's going to make it smooth and creamy, the fennel, the yogurt, the lemon juice, the ice, the water. We're going to add a little salt and pepper, but we have our basil in there and our jalapeno, and we're ready to blend. So there's some salt. Okay. Any other questions about this one?
So Kristen did ask a question, but I have responded previously. Maybe, I don't know if she see it. She asked again. If we were having the soup, would you have to wait 30 minutes after eating solid food? And that would be for me. The soup would be your meal. So yes, we'll wait 30 minutes and then have your liquid again. That's something that they have to do when they have the surgery.
And if you wanted to add more protein to this, you could use your flavorless protein powders and add that in. It does have a little bit of Greek yogurt in there. You could put more Greek yogurt if you were looking for more protein. It's going to change the flavor a little bit, right? But that's another way to add protein to this as well. So you're getting lots of hydration, you're getting lots of great nutrients in your vegetables, and you're getting that that wonderful protein fix too. So you want to blend it so it's completely blended. Okay. And then you can see this is a really nice consistency. Let's see if I have a little bowl here maybe to show you better. Okay. So you can see like it's light, it's fluffy. It almost looks like it's like very summery, refreshing. It smells like a garden. It's just like such a wonderful kind of, combination. So any questions about that one? You can sort of see the texture here. It's really nice. Fresh, easy, sort of a nice alternative to gazpacho, which we often make in the summer.
Someone just wrote gazpacho.
Exactly. It's kind of like a green gazpacho. Yeah, it's true.
I can't wait to eat this. I've been wanting chilled soup. So,
oh, perfect.
So someone else asked Michelle about eating and drinking at the same time. It is the biggest thing with eating and drinking at the same time for this surgery is that you don't want to fill your stomach with a hydration and not get the food down that you need. But considering this is soup, this would be your meal, and then you would wait the 30 minutes. So that's the biggest thing. So yes, after 3 months, you should still continue that. Someone else wrote, does it have to be strained?
No, this does not have to be strained.
Okay.
Nope. Yeah, I know some gazpachos you do strain. All right.
And then I just want to, at what stage can we have this nice soup? Someone wrote, and you can have this soup after your first month when you introduce veggies.
Okay. Great questions. All right, so we're going to move to our next recipe, which I am calling the chocolate avocado smoothie. So this is where we blend avocado again with spinach or any kind of leafy green, kale. Swiss chard is what we have from the garden. Look how beautiful that is. This nice red stem in the middle. I'm not going to use the stems for this one, but you can definitely use them for other applications. We're adding cocoa powder, almond butter, a little bit of vanilla extract. And then you're going to want to sweeten this with your own kind of sweetener of choice. So I know, Ashley, there's certain patients can't have fruit, but if you could have fruit or you were at that stage, you could add some banana into this for sweetness. You could add a date, or you could use, if you're not at that stage and you want to sweeten this, use a little bit of monk fruit sweetener. So that would work out just fine. So any questions about that before I blend?
Oh, nothing so far.
Okay.
And I just want to state that monk fruit sweetener is a great sweetener. And someone just asked, I love monk fruit sweetener. So that's a great option. You guys don't want to, because, a lot of them are using Splenda or Equal, and I try to steer away from that. I think monk fruit is a healthier version to not add sugar, any sugar. Someone else asked, how many months out from surgery can fruit be added? And that is 3 months.
Thank you. So along with what Ashley was saying, stevia can have a little bit of a bitter aftertaste. So some folks don't like that, but if you like stevia, you could definitely use those stevia drops or stevia packets. That would be fine. That's completely from a plant. I've grown stevia plant in the garden. It's very sweet. You pick off a leaf and it's like incredibly sweet. So you can use stevia for this. You can use monk fruit. And like Ashley said, I do try to steer clear of the non-nutritive sweeteners that are lab-based, the ones that are basically created by us instead of by nature. And monk fruit is a great substitute because it actually is a fruit that's dried, and then it's a 0-calorie sweetener. It's mixed with erythritol. You'll see on the label on the back it says I never know how to say that one, but that's basically a sugar-based an alcohol-based sugar. So at least they're both kind of originally coming from something that's a little more natural. So, we try to choose the lesser of evils around here. Any questions about that?
Can you just show the bag again they just asked?
Yeah, of
Sorry.
course. That's why I held it up.
Yep.
So you can find this in Stop and Shop. It's usually in the aisle in the Beach Shopping Center. They have it in the aisle that is to the left of the produce, sort of all the way to the back. There's some organic stuff. There's a cold case where there's like tofu and some other things. Usually across from that is where you can find it. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, I have a map of that supermarket in my head. All right, so we're gonna add in our Swiss chard or your spinach, whichever you prefer. And we know that, we're adding lots of greens to our chocolate shake, which, some people might feel a little strange about, but you really can't taste it. And it's a great way to add more fiber, your vitamins A, C, K, folic acid, iron, calcium. I mean, there's so much, great stuff in here for you. So we're adding a little bit of that. And then we're going to add our avocado, again, blending that in for creaminess. Okay. And I didn't quite get all that. Let's get a little more. And then we're going to add our almond butter. So almond butter is, or you could use peanut butter too, if that's what you like. The peanut butter has a stronger flavor. So if you want to kind of have that be at the forefront, feel free to make that substitution. If you can't do nuts, use a seed butter. They are sunflower seed butter, pumpkin seed butter. There's a few others out there, but those are great options as well. The almonds are, again, adding protein. They're adding fiber. They're adding healthy, heart-healthy fats, magnesium, antioxidants, right? So many wonderful qualities that almonds have. And then I just think they taste great. So we're going to add that in. So you just want to check the labels of your almond butter. It should say, dry roasted almonds. You can get it salted or unsalted. This one happens to have a little bit of salt in it, but 7 grams of protein in one serving. So it's pretty good. So I'm using 100% cocoa Dutch process. Now, what does that mean, Dutch process? It just means that they've added alkali to it, which sort of changes the way the cocoa feels. It tastes more like a brownie batter and less of that like bitter, super dark chocolate. Now, you're going to lose out on some of the nutrients if you go for the Dutch process, but some people can't really tolerate the raw 100% dark powdered stuff. So I like to meet folks in the middle. I find that that's a little bit bitter for my taste, but if you love that, go for it. You're going to get more antioxidants, more flavonoids in that version. You're still going to get a lot with this version too, but you're going to get more with the other. So let's add our cocoa powder. A little splash of vanilla, about half a teaspoon. This is optional, but I like it. Vanilla and chocolate actually work really well together. Who would have thought? And then we're going to add some almond milk. So you can use almond milk, oat milk, whichever one you prefer. We're adding more ice cubes, 3 or 4 ice cubes, and then we're going to break that all down. Questions or comments? Quick and easy chocolate shake. We didn't sweeten this, so you can sweeten this, how you want to.
So questions were just, can the smoothies be more than 4 ounces? So these smoothies can be 8 to 10 ounces for you guys because they are a meal replacement. And then someone asked if they could use cashew or peanut butter. And I said yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, definitely cashew peanut butter. Oh my gosh, it's almost like a pudding when you add the avocado in there. Look at that. It's amazing. It's so fluffy. I'm really excited about avocados and smoothies because it just gives it that texture that otherwise, like, you just feel like you're, drinking something and it goes right through. But the avocados give it body, it gives it creaminess. It's just
It reminds me of that chocolate mousse
avocado
for
mousse
the
we
bariatric
made. Yeah.
dessert. Yeah.
You're right. It's very similar. Although, we're not adding we didn't add any sweetener to this one, but it is very similar, just a little bit thinner.
So a couple questions. Can we use dry nut protein, like the dried peanut butter protein? So that's like the PB2 that they use in their
Totally.
shakes? Okay.
Yeah, totally. If you wanted to use that instead, go for it.
And are you able to freeze and store it?
That's a really good question. I've never frozen it, but you know what? You could freeze avocado, you could freeze spinach. There's nothing in there that's going to get weird if you freeze it. The only thing is it might, like you might have to blend it again before drinking it. So that might just defeat the purpose of freezing it. But you can make less also if if you're finding that this is, this made 1.5 cups. So that's a lot, but it serves 2 people. So it's a substantial, oops. So if you're making this just for yourself, maybe you want to do less. Okay. The blender top is trying to make a run for it. Got it. Caught it. All right. Our third smoothie hydration station is what I'm calling the carrot cake smoothie, because let's face it, sometimes you just crave carrot cake. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I really love it. And we have beautiful organic carrots from our very own garden. So I'm going to start by chopping it up. I left the skin on for this one, but if you have extra sensitivity to bitterness, you may want to peel your carrot. So just chunk it up, because the peel is where all the kind of bitter stuff is. Chunk that up, put it in, add your vanilla extract. You're going to add a little bit of ice. You might have to add more. It calls for a cup of ice, so I'm going to have to add some more. Some Greek yogurt. We're adding more protein in there, right? It's kind of like where you get that cream cheese frosting fix, right? That kind of like sour, delightful. I'm adding some coconut milk. This is like just a really nice complement for the carrot. Carrots and coconut seem to love each other, so why not? And then you can't have a carrot cake without some cinnamon. So to really give it that like carrot cakey-ness, you've got to add the cinnamon. Again, with the almond butter. I wouldn't go peanut or cashew for this one. Maybe cashew would be okay, but peanut would be too overwhelming for this one. I do kind of like the almond butter in here because it adds the nuttiness without being overwhelming. So that I would substitute peanut butter because peanut butter and chocolate just love each other, so they can go together. We're adding a little bit of our monk fruit. Don't need much, and then I'm gonna get a little more ice. And we'll start blending this up. Any questions?
So I keep forgetting to say if you can what stage you can have this on.
Yeah. Oh no.
So
go ahead.
Any of these smoothies you can have. I know you aren't supposed to have fruit or veggies until month 1. However, you could do these during your puree stage if you do just add extra protein to it. So I recommend getting unflavored protein and adding them to any of these smoothies so you can get more protein in it. And then someone else asked, instead of coconut milk, what could you use?
So instead of the coconut milk, I mean, it does add a really like yummy flavor to it, but you could use oat milk or almond milk. It's just kind of thinning it out. And it's also adding the coconut flavor. But if you don't like that coconut flavor, just use a different kind of, nut milk or, even dairy milk if that's what you do. Who does dairy anymore? Gosh, I'm so out of touch. All right. I guess I added a lot of yogurt to these too. All right. We're ready to blend. I'm going to the carrot cake smoothie. A little bit of ginger tea, like a little bit of fresh ginger if you want. You know, that really like give it that little extra something. Oh, God, it smells like carrot cake. It's amazing.
I'm just gonna say what you said, because when you turn the blender on, sometimes your voice goes lower. I don't know why.
Go ahead. It's probably picking up on the feedback of
so she did
machine.
say you can add a little bit of ginger to this recipe.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. So if you wanted to, give it even more nutrients, you can add some ginger, which helps with nausea. It helps with digestion. It's like it smells like carrot cake. It's just the best. All right, so we're ready to make our final recipe, which is the peanut butter popsicles, protein popsicles. Another great way to get hydration is through your ice cream. So you might as well make it good. So the way that I make this is really, really simple. I have like this little popsicle molds thing. If you don't have one of these, you can use wax coated Dixie cups. That's kind of the cheapo version. I've done that. It's great, for kids too, because they're smaller. So you can make those. You can, stick a popsicle stick in it while they're freezing. But these molds are kind of, they're quick and easy. So it's always good to have quick and easy options. But all right, so we're going to start with a cup of peanut butter. Okay, that's like half a cup, maybe a bit more. I kind of eyeball everything. If you don't want to use peanut, you could use almond or cashew. That would be fine. It wouldn't be a protein peanut butter pop, but it would still be some kind of delicious pop. Let's add some yogurt. So yogurt is half a cup. Again, I'm using that Greek non-fat yogurt. All right, I know what you're thinking. Peanut butter yogurt, it's a little strange, but it's actually really good together. It's a great combination. We're gonna add about 3/4 of a cup of liquid. So I have here, this is an oat milk. You could use that, or you could use your almond milk, or you could use your milk, or whatever you want. About 2 tablespoons of honey. Now, if you're not doing honey, you can again use that monk fruit. Use the non-nutritive sweetener, whatever of your choice. Any of that is good by me. And then we're going to whisk this all together. I promise it's like a little bit of a funky combo, but gosh, it's really good. And it's really, really protein filled. Like how many ice creams out there have, however much protein is in here. I mean, if there's 1 cup of 2 tablespoons for 2 tablespoons is 8 grams of protein. Oh gosh, I'm making myself do math on camera. I promise I would never do this to myself, but here we are. 8 grams of protein is 2 tablespoons. There's 16 tablespoons in a cup, I think. Maybe someone needs to fact check that for me. I think it's 16. Maybe it's 8. Actually, you know how many tablespoons are in a cup?
I'm searching right now.
Thank you. I got my backup today. All right. So you can see this is just whisked together until it's all kind of homogeneous.
16, you are correct.
Thank you. Ding, 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 16. So 2 tablespoons is 8 grams. That means 16 tablespoons is going to be how many grams of protein?
16 times 2? 32, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess you could do it the other way. 1 tablespoon is 4 grams of protein. So if you have 16 tablespoons, 16 times 4, right?
64.
So we've got more. Yeah, 64 grams of protein in 1 cup of peanut butter. Plus
that's awesome.
The Greek yogurt, which has half a cup. So we added, that's going to add another 10 grams of protein. So we're at like 74 grams of protein. So let's make it 60, just, to make it easy math for us. But you can easily say over 10 grams of protein per popsicle.
And healthy protein. Like I always like to add more peanut butter to my shakes if I don't have a protein, like if I don't have powdered protein. I like peanut butter because peanut butter is a healthier version of protein.
It's a whole foods version of protein. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. Someone asked what brand peanut butter is good to use, and I'm going to give that to you, but I steer away from Jiffy. So I'm more of a all natural, peanut butter. So I'll have Emily hold up her peanut butter and kind of explain peanut butters a little bit more.
Sure. All right. I'm just going to put these in the freezer. So that made like 5.5, but I think I didn't add that much liquid. Then you can put these little caps on and then put it in the freezer, and that's when the magic happens. So when it comes to peanut butter, today I am using this brand is Once Again. It has oil stains everywhere because peanut butter is oily. But if you look on the back here, if you look at the ingredients, it says dry roasted blanched organic peanuts. That is it. So with your peanuts, peanuts belong to the legume family. So they're actually in the same family as peas and beans and lentils. And peanut butter is, often it's just peanuts that are roasted and ground, but sometimes some brands include other ingredients, added ingredients like sugar or vegetable oils or partially hydrogenated fats, trans fats. So read the label, choose a peanut butter with nothing but peanuts. Maybe it has a little salt, that's okay. But yeah, again, you want to try to get sort of like what Ashley said, the most natural version that you can. Questions or comments? I'm going to put these in the freezer, and then I'm going to take out the ones I made earlier to show you what they look like. This
No
is like
other
the TV.
questions.
Yeah.
But could you make your own peanut butter?
Yeah, you could make your own peanut butter. It takes a lot of patience. And a good food processor, but you could. The way you would do it is you would get your food processor set. You would blend the peanuts in there. You want to get, roasted, any kind of dry roasted, unsalted peanuts. You would blend them, and then you would keep kind of using the spatula once in a while, open it up, work them down, keep blending it. Eventually the heat from the blade, it'll start to break it down. Okay, so
I have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where's the best place to find natural peanut butter? And then she said, what's added to commercial peanut butter? And she kind of explained that already. Commercial peanut butter has all those added things. It's not just dry roasted peanuts. And then you can say best place to find natural peanut butter.
Best place to find natural peanut butter. I get them at Stop and Shop or ShopRite. Just read the label. There's all, you can get, I'm sure Wholesome Pantry has a brand or something like that. Just read the label, make sure there's no vegetable oil added, no partially hydrogenated fats, and no, no sugar. That's the main thing. Ta-da! Peanut butter popsicle.
Awesome. I find mine more in like the natural food section, so that might help you guys if you go to Stop and Shop. I feel like
you're right.
Yeah, like if you go to the regular peanut butter section, you'll see like Jiffy, stuff like that. The natural food section has it more. Someone just wrote Teddy's peanut butter has nothing but peanuts, which I do love Teddy's peanut butter, and that's in the natural food section.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
And now these popsicles could either be, someone asked, do the popsicles are snacks or meal replacement too? Popsicles could be either or because they have a lot of protein in it. So you can use it as a snack in between your meals, or you can use it as a meal replacement. And then someone else just asked, is it in the regular aisle and Stop and Shop? And no. Some places, oh, she said it's in the regular aisle and Stop and Shop, in her Stop and Shop, the Teddy's peanut butter. I read that wrong. So great. And that's it.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this evening. Thank you, Ashley, for your great wisdom and profound knowledge on this subject. I hope you enjoy these recipes. I hope you give them a try. I hope you stay hydrated during this heat wave. Ashley, any closing words? Do you want to stay on the line longer for any questions? And I can just turn my video off and
I can. I know a lot of people. A lot of people don't feel comfortable asking questions here, which I'm going to just type in my email in the chat. Okay. If you guys do have questions, a lot of you may have it if you already had surgery with me, but as everybody knows, I'm always here for everybody. I'm always talking to my patients all the time. So you can email me anytime. Everybody's thanking you. They love Emily's cooking class, and they want to know when the next one is.
Maybe we'll do it in September, end of September. Yeah. Okay.
And that is all for the questions. I don't think anybody's asking. Everybody's just saying thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We wouldn't have these cooking classes without an audience. So truly, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Have a great evening.
Thanks, Emily.
Stay cool and hydrated. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.